From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. It is time for the premier sports betting show. Got to get this lighting together. There we go. All right, so here we are. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Man, and here we are. So pretty much today should be a good day today, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It's another Friday. Blessed to be here. And let's go ahead and jump into it, man. Let's talk about the NBA Finals Game 1. I mean, not Game 1, Game 4. I'm tripping. Let's go ahead and talk about Game 4, which should be a really good one tonight. We have ourselves a very, we have everybody kind of already deciding that they've pretty much chose the Nuggets to win the title and that everything is a formality now. And, after that historic performance of the night, the Heat just can't do anything else. I don't know about all that. I think that the Heat are one of the teams that with the resolve that they have and the belief that they have in themselves, this series is far from over, in my opinion. And, I got the Heat in 7. So pretty much Denver's playing to their talent. They're playing to their expectations. They're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. So there's really no surprise here. They're playing to their ability. They straight up are. So, that's something that you have to that's something that you have to just go ahead and, keep it real with yourself about, and there's just a lot of things that you put yourself in that say, okay, this could be a game tonight that really goes one way or the other, and I truly feel like when you have a lot of different things going on in a game where you have two guys who are pretty much controlling everything for their team, and then you have a team of guys trying to stop these guys. So what happens? You have to get help. And tonight, the help has to come from these bench guys. You know what I mean? You have to get Caleb Martin to be better. You have to get Kevin Love to possibly have a night tonight. You can't demand him to have a night tonight, but hey, you would like him to go back into the bag for a little bit. So there's options here. There's things that can help the Heat win this game and win this game convincingly tonight as well, too. But they're going to have to get on it right away, and they're going to have to try to stop the runs where Denver doesn't get a quick 7-8 run or a quick 10-0 run. And then once Denver's up double digits, they're not looking back. The Heat have to make the Nuggets work for it all night long. And they've been good when they made them work for it all night long. Biggest problem that happened for the Heat the other night, they didn't win the second half. They've been winning the second half. They won the second half in the first two games. So tonight they have to get back to that team that won the second half. That's the half that they really key in on, and especially the fourth quarter. This team really does have the wit and the gall to really go ahead and destroy you in the fourth quarter. So I like the way that the Heat are coming into the game tonight. I didn't do too much with my bets tonight, but my main bet tonight is going to be the spread on the Heat plus 3.5. I don't know if they win tonight. That's why I'm saying that I'm taking the plus 3.5, but I do feel like this is going to be a very close game. It's a Friday night. Usually Friday nights call for very close games in the NBA Finals. I've really never seen a blowout on a night like this. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the Colts rookie quarterback. Anthony Richardson has been impressive in OTAs. Does he start week 1? Now, you know that they do have Gardner Minshew as their starting quarterback. Not their starting quarterback, but Gardner Minshew is in the mix. They did bring him in as the de facto starter as they prepare Anthony Richardson. I would say that Anthony Richardson will probably be starting week 1 because the thing is, his draft pick kind of calls for him to in today's NFL calls for him to play week 1. Even though if I'm coach, I'm having Gardner Minshew play week 1. I don't care. I have to see exactly what our team is about, and I want to see how he handles that situation on being on the bench and having to play behind, an old savvy vet like Gardner Minshew that could actually lead this team to the playoffs if he has somewhat of a good season. Gardner Minshew is a guy that I really liked a lot when he was in Jacksonville. He was really a good quarterback. He was never there to be the starting quarterback. We all know that. We know that he was there to just be a fill-in and be a bridge quarterback, and he was able to get the opportunity because the starting quarterback got hurt in the game 1 of the season, tore his leg, pretty much ended his career. So you have Gardner Minshew, who's, in the mix. He's looking to solidify himself in the NFL, and I think that he is the best option to start this thing off for the Colts. But I truly do think that Richardson will find a way to beat him in camp. I think that when you look at today's NFL, it's really hard for you not to start these top 5 guys because they are picked in the top 5 as an instant impact player. They're not picked in the top 5 for you to develop them anymore. And the Colts aren't really in a developmental stage at the quarterback position. They need to solidify who their quarterback's going to be so then they can go ahead and shore up other positions. That's exactly why they went and got Richardson. They didn't go get Richardson to go learn on the bench, but with the type of resume he has coming from college, he's a natural to sit pretty much because he didn't do enough in college. He did enough to where he did look good on tape. He has measurables. He looks good in practice, but we're in the NFL now. The NFL is a fast game, and literally you have to be able to adjust for it immediately. That's the whole thing. You have to be able to adjust for that situation. So I truly do feel that when it comes down to it, this should be something that really is a telltale. And I really, and I really just feel like, sorry, y'all. Just sorry, one of my horses scratched. So over at San Anita, it was my key horse too. Damn it. All right, so I really feel like Richardson is really a guy that will shut up his haters. I'll be honest with you. I think that he's a version of Cam Newton. He's not going to be like Cam Newton, but he's going to give you that Cam Newton feel. You know what I mean? That's how I feel with Richardson. I think that Richardson is going to be more about with his legs and passing on the run, and it's going to be exciting with guys like Michael Pittman Jr. And then he also has Franklin in the backfield as well too. So that's very helpful for him moving forward in the NFL. You know what I mean? Not Franklin, I'm sorry, but he does have the kid from Wisconsin behind him as well too. So that's going to be everything should be very simple for Richardson, say the first 4 weeks of the season, the first month of the season, as he gets acclimated into the NFL. But Does he start week 1? That's the biggest question. We'll go ahead and see as the preseason goes along, and coach will make that announcement as soon as he feels fit on who the starting quarterback is going to be. But I would feel like you don't want to go into your training camp and say that we're deciding on who the quarterback is going to be through evaluation of preseason. You should already have an idea of who you want your quarterback to be. All right, so we move forward, and we have boxing to talk about. And we have Adrian Broner, the Dream, going against returning this weekend. Broner comeback fight in Miami as he headlines. Man, that was so messed up. As he headlines Don King's card. So, Don King, the great Don King, has came and pretty much impressed upon to Broner that, he's going to help him get back to the level that Broner is used to, and where Broner became this big time guy that we all came to know. Broner's a 4-time division champion, and it's really sad to see a guy with this much skill level kind of fall off the way that he fell off. And it's all because of money, glamour, all that good stuff that comes with the territory of being great, and I feel like what happens when you got a situation like that, you really wind up having to reinvent yourself. And I feel like that's what Broner went through. Broner is a guy that has always believed in himself. And I feel like with the backlash that he had for being too braggadocious, being a little bit too honest, and just being a guy that is a full-on like comedy show. You know what I mean? But Broner gets it. Broner gets everything that you're supposed to be when you're a boxer. You're supposed to talk loud. You're supposed to be kind of crazy. You're supposed to have crazy life. But the thing is, though, you can't destroy yourself in the process either. Adrian Broner, is a guy that drinks a lot and he parties a lot, and pretty much it all caught up with him. Everybody says it's okay, until it's not okay anymore. And I think that Adrian Broner has always wanted to be great at boxing. I just think that he got too caught up in the life, in the fun that boxing brings. I know I'm a victim of it as well too, somewhat, because you have to understand, you go out there, you fight a guy in a squared circle, you get paid a lot of money, then you guys can go have a banging party, you guys can go do it up, have a great time, and then next thing you know, pretty much you're sitting there and everybody's gone. It's just you now. And it gets sad. It gets really sad. And I really truly feel that when you get down to the nitty gritty of this thing, man, you'll have yourself the best. You know what I mean? The best. The best type of story to tell. And I think Broner is at that point right now where he's ready to tell a great story. And I think that he's really on his way back, to be honest with you. I think Don King having the confidence that he has in Broner was very helpful. I know that Al Heyman still loves Broner a lot as well, too. He made him a lot of money as well. But Broner wants to do things on his own now. And, that time and day of Broner being, somebody who's a priority with that promotion is over with. And I know that he wants to have his own spotlight. He doesn't want to deter Tank, because that's what happens next. Oh, he's jealous of Tank. Oh, he's trying to hold back Tank. There's no point of being around that situation anymore, because as you can see, the guy's ego is out of control, and he's acting just like how Broner did 10 years ago. So pretty much now, Broner's at that state in time where he has to get serious about boxing, because his bills are starting to pile up a little bit, and he can't miss his guaranteed quota of money. And now he's with Don, who gave him a nice advance to start this thing off. And I think that take these nice little baby steps real quick, take this tune-up fight. And I feel like since he was called out by so many for the last few years, now it might be time to go ahead and back up those statements because Broner's a free agent. He can fight anybody. Broner and Don King will bring him to anybody. So I feel that the Regis fight is absolutely a must-have. You have to put this fight together. You have to put Broner and Regis in the ring together. I think that it's a Vegas fight, to be honest with you, as well, too. Or it could be a New York City fight. It doesn't matter. This is going to be a great fight. And I think that they have to make it happen because, Regis is on the point to being an actual household name. He's still not. Nobody really knows who he is. But since he got with Eddie Hearn, there's been a little bit more publicity because he's been able to actually, train in his home state, and he's going to fight a homecoming fight as well too. So it's going to be huge for that market. So there's just a lot of things that make a lot of sense for this fight to happen in the next year, in the next month, a few months or so. So I would love to see a fight like this happen in the fall because both these guys need each other badly. But first, Broner has to get through his fight tonight, and Regis has to get through his fight in July. So that's how it goes, and that's how it's going to be. So hopefully everything works out to where we get ourselves that great fight. So let's go ahead and move forward. Let's talk about my next topic in hand, and that's going to be some more boxing. And we got boxing in New York City this weekend. So we have a very good, fight and everything like that between the former undisputed champion who got stripped of his belts, Josh Taylor, and the unified champion in former lightweight champion in Teofimo Lopez, former prospect of the year, former just every all-world superstar boxer. Now they kind of walked away from me because you lose and then you start saying crazy stuff. But he's still my guy. You know what I mean? I don't have any issues with T.O. I think T.O. and I'm hoping T.O. has a big night. T.O. Taylor at the MSG Hulu Theater Saturday in NYC. Who wins and why? Man, y'all got to stop ragging on the theater, dude. The theater is where most of the boxing matches happen at the Garden. Like, if you get the big room, you're really good. And even there's been legends who didn't even get the big room. And heavyweight fights, championship fights didn't even get the big room. So, it has to be something that is going to get you some money in the big room. So that's why it's okay to go to the theater. The theater's not that small. Like, I'm hearing this from people that know they don't watch some fights in a ballroom, and they know that ballroom is not the same size as the Hulu Theater. But let's go ahead and talk about the fight. Taylor does have a lot of the advantages here because he's taller. He's longer reach, but it's not that much longer than T.O.'s. They have about the same amount of experience. But the thing is, though, Josh Taylor, we can say this, has probably fought against more difficult fighters in his time, even though T.O. has fought against a lot of seasoned fighters in his time, guys that have real resumes. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty of this situation, you say to yourself that who needs this fight more? Does Josh Taylor need the fight, or does T.O. need the fight? When you really look at the fight and look at the justification of it, you say, okay, you probably will have T.O. winning the fight. You know what I mean? Or Taylor winning the fight because, he was the undisputed. He's seen as the 140 lineal champion for right now because I promise you this is going to be his last fight at 140. They're just doing the fight because the fight is worth a lot of money for him. It's worth a lot of money for Teofimo Lopez. But you guys have to understand, the 140 division does not yield big paydays. It doesn't. It's a bridge division. Bridge divisions always do that. 140, 154, 130. All these are bridge divisions. They're not gonna pay you $20 million to fight in those divisions. And even in the lightweight division, these guys, how are they getting that much money to fight a lightweight fight? And then hearing the bullshit from Regis the other day that when he was talking about Haney, that we got so much power at 140. Dude, what, 5 people? And it's not one punch KO power. Cut it out. Stop lying to the people so you can look cool for a camera. You guys are good boxers, but come on, don't lie. Because a lot of us have been watching boxing for a long time, and you can't bullshit us about any of this stuff going on in boxing, okay? Boxing doesn't change. Boxing hasn't evolved. Boxing hasn't done anything but be the same damn sport it's been my whole life, okay? So I truly feel like when it comes down to it, it's about the stars. And Teofimo is a full bona fide star. And Teofimo knows what time it is. He knows that the pressure is on. And he knows that he is better with pressure. He didn't have no pressure when he fought Kambosos. That's why he lost the fight. But then, since then, he knows that everybody is anticipating his downfall. And that's making him feel that much more secure and getting himself a good win. I can see this coming from a mile away. I think Teofimo is going to box this guy's head off, to be honest with you. Josh Taylor is going to come in way too aggressive, way too cocky, and he's going to get hurt. And he can't make weight. You guys keep going off this, oh, well, dude, he couldn't make weight. That's why Jack Catterall almost beat him. Because it's tough. He had a leg injury as well, too. You guys are all talking as if he's going to come back and be this dynamic force that he was back in 2019. We're not in 2019 anymore. I know that time moves pretty quickly, and it feels like it was here yesterday, but that time is over with. I expect Taylor to come into this fight and overwork and be tired by the time we get to the 6th, 7th, 8th round. I'm not saying that Teo stops him, but I'm going to say this. I know that Teo is going to be more craftier than him. I know Teo is going to make him really think in this fight. So it's going to be a really good fight, and I actually have Teo winning this fight on a razor-thin split decision. How about that? All right? So, you guys, we can go all day about this, but I got Teo winning this fight with the razor-thin split decision. I know a lot of people probably ain't going to be happy with this because they consider him, kind of a bigot and things like that. But when you know somebody in real life, you know that they're not about that life. You know what I mean? It's just all about how they project people's words, and those words can be hurtful sometimes. But you know what? At the end of the day, though, we all need to kind of just deal with it because everybody says something hurtful about everybody's race. So it is what it is at the end of the day, right? So pretty much we just need to fix ourselves as people, But that's another topic for another show on another day. With that, we're going to go ahead and take us a quick break. When I get back, we're going to talk some baseball. You guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DBacks, the PrimeTime Capper. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And yeah, you guys already know what it's about. You already know what it's about. So let's talk about Blue Crew Daily. Dodgers finally get themselves a win yesterday. We talked about that. Dodgers won that game 6-0. Dodgers started a 3-game series in Philly, and this is a must. Is this a must-win series at Phillies? Every series is a must-win series, right? When you're a Dodger fan, it's always a must-win series. It's never, we just gonna go into it and we just gonna try. No, the Dodgers aren't a just try team. Okay, so I think that when it all comes down to it, when it's all said and done, the Dodgers have to look at this weekend and tell themselves that they're going to have to hit, because they already have it bad enough to where they don't have their actual, the Dodgers don't have their actual pitchers intact. They don't even have their starting pitcher tonight. You know what I mean? Victor Gonzalez is going to start the game off. Victor Gonzalez is a little, and you're really waiting on Urias. And quick breaking news: Chris Sale has just been transferred to the 60-day DL, so it looks like he's probably going to be done for the season very soon. So we'll see how it goes with that situation. But that is not good news at all. Chris Sale got paid a lot of money to pitch in Boston, but he did help Boston get a ring. So you know what? Sometimes that's the gift and the curse of being that great of a player, right? So pretty much the Dodgers tonight, though, they look to have to build upon, because the Dodgers lost 4 in a row, and that was kind of key. Because what happened with that situation is the Dodgers find themselves now a game and a half out of first place. They're 36-27 compared to Arizona's 37-25. Arizona is now has the second best record in baseball in the National League. The Dodgers have the third best record now in the National League, but that's not going to be the case when it comes to the playoffs, because if the playoffs were to start today, the Dodgers would have to play against the Marlins, who are probably the hottest team in all of baseball, who've won the last 6 in a row and won their last 8 out of 10 as well, too. So that would be kind of a trying situation. Now, you do have Pittsburgh, who's in the mix as well, too. So that's pretty funny to me. So pretty much you have Miami, who's 3.5 games behind Atlanta, and then you have the Mets, who are actually 8.5 games out, and that was terrible what happened to them yesterday. They were up 10-6 and still wound up losing that game yesterday. But the Dodgers, they're in good shape. They got a 3.5 game lead over San Francisco. And when you look up, you can get a good laugh and see that they got a 6.5 game lead over San Diego. And as usual, they're leading the Rockies by double digits, but they don't lead one other team, and that's the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have became kind of like the little darlings of the MLB, because now everybody's gushing over the Arizona Diamondbacks. But everybody's just gushing over the Arizona Diamondbacks is because the Dodgers are so dominant in the division that when there's another team that's really good, everybody kind of gets excited, like this could be the year. You know what I mean? And it always winds up being a bad result for these teams when it comes to the fall. You got to play the whole season, and that's the whole thing. But this is an important series. Tonight you got Victor Gonzalez. Tomorrow you're going to have – I'm getting that for you right now. Tomorrow you're going to have pitching tomorrow. You're going to have Bobby Miller back on the mound. He's going to be going against Aaron Nola. That's a good matchup right there. And then we got an early matinee game. Julio Urias makes his return on Sunday. He's going to have Taijuan Walker. So the way the pitching's set up this weekend, the Dodgers, it's set up for the Dodgers to get 2 out of 3, because Suarez is the pitcher tonight for the Phillies. So this weekend is, to me, a must-win situation, because the Dodgers have to put themselves – they have to make sure the Diamondbacks know that you're not safe ever. So we're going to put more pressure on you in your games until we catch you and get you right where we want you to get you. So with that, let's go ahead and move forward and talk about the MLB Friday night. As you guys already know, we have a full schedule tonight. There are no games that are off because, I know we've been having the little issues with games being off because of, all the, pretty much for all the fires and all that stuff. That's just been very, it's been ugly up there in NYC. So right now you have it to where we we got ourselves a good schedule today. We got ourselves a good little vibe, like they like to say, good little vibe, so we have that. And we have some things in place here that will be okay. So I'm just looking at my three. Get this race over here at Wichita. We got 3 tracks going at once, y'all. So just know that I love y'all because my horses is on and I'm doing this show for you. So pretty much we got a good night tonight. We got a lot of really good matchups going into this weekend. We have a lot of different looks going on here as well too. So pretty much let's go ahead and jump into our first game that I have here, the Rangers and the Rays. This will be the game of the series of the weekend. If the playoffs were to start today, these two teams would be 1-2, and they would have the best records in all of baseball as well. So that's where we're at right now. This is a big series. Me and Mike talked about this yesterday on his show for a bit as well too. And I think that when you look at the bottom line here, you got tonight where you got Heaney going against Glasnow. So you're probably going to be very intrigued with Heaney's effort tonight for this one. So pretty much with that, I feel like where you have to go in this situation is you have to go to the right trend. Is who's the hotter team? That's the question. Now you know that they're both scoring runs at a torrid pace, but the Rangers are scoring runs at a way more torrid pace right now. And the Rangers are doing all this without their best pitchers, all that good stuff, because they have it to where they signed Jacob deGrom $185 million. They kind of already knew what the deal was going to be, that he was probably going to be a guy that didn't finish the season, and he didn't. Now he's going to Tommy John surgery. So, there's a lot of things. But as I keep saying to everybody, John Gray was always their best pitcher. So now John Gray is looking pretty good. Now Andrew Heaney's able to be somewhere where he doesn't have to figure out when he can be in the rotation. And he's with the team that knows him very well. So he's a good pitcher to have on the mound tonight. But the Rays, though, they just seem to answer the bell when it comes to playing against the better teams in the MLB. So that's why it's like this is a really good game tonight, because this is one that really measures who the Tampa Bay Rays, I might get in trouble saying Devil Rays, but this really measures on who they exactly are, going into the rest of the season, because this is a big matchup. And Glasnow, he's now making his 3rd start of the year. He's banged up, but now he's back. He's been a little shaky, but he has 14 strikeouts in the process, but he's given up 4 runs, walked 4 as well too, and he's done this in 9 2/3 innings. So, he's striking guys out, he's getting guys out, but now we have to see exactly what you're capable of doing. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have a tough game tonight. So with that, I feel like the only bet we can take here, the smartest bet here is going to be this. We're going to take the Rays with the 1.5, because I just really feel like the Rays are going to have a nice, comfy night tonight. They're going to set the table for a great series, and then you can go ahead and you can decide who's going to win the next 2 in the next few days. Possibly you'll be looking at Talkin Tickets, so then you'll get the winner. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get ourselves moved on to our next game, which is going to be the D-backs and the Tigers. The D-backs and the Tigers. This should be a good game as well, too. You got the D-backs, as I said before. They're a team that's rolling right now. They're playing great baseball. They got the second best record in the National League. They were so hot. I know they were mad yesterday that they couldn't play in that game because DC, they had to cancel the game because they were having a little bit of issues with that fire as well too. So they had to cancel that game out. So, I think that when you get down to the nitty-gritty, this should be a very, very good pitching matchup today. Merrill Kelly's been pitching very well, and Michael Lorenzen has came back and is really taking the league by storm somewhat. Not the league by storm, but he's really went ahead and taken this pitching rotation by storm. You know what I mean? Because they didn't really have a solid pitcher until Lorenzen came. Lorenzen's been good. Lorenzen had one bad game against Kansas City. Other than that, he's been absolutely in fuego. And yeah, he struggled against San Francisco as well, struggled a little bit against Milwaukee, but those are 3 games compared to the 10 he's already pitched. He's been good. In most games, he's only given up a run, and he's getting enough strikeouts. So his 3.21 ERA is on the money. It's not something that's just, something that they're playing with. Yeah, he's 2-2 on the year because when his relievers come in, they don't back him up as well. So you can see that. You know what I mean? And you can see that he goes out of a lot of tie games. So this is going to be a game that's going to be really good to me today. Merrill Kelly, very under the radar pitcher because you don't expect the Diamondbacks to have great pitchers, but they got 2 of them, and Merrill Kelly's one of them. So he's been having a great year. He's 7-3. He's actually headed to probably one of his better seasons. The guy's throwing 280 right now. And he was able to really bounce back pretty well after that opening day disaster against the Dodgers. Now he's just been absolutely just tough to hit, and he's had 2 double-digit strikeout games in his last 10. Those were 10. He had 8 in his last one. So, and this was against the best record in the National League, Atlanta Braves. So this guy can play. And, it's going to be a good game. I feel like it's going to be the under tonight. So I like the under 8 in this spot. Let's go ahead and get to our divisional game tonight, and that's going to be the Reds and the Cardinals. You got Ben Lively going against Jordan Montgomery. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, this is going to be a good one tonight. And the Reds are coming in here steaming hot. The Reds, and they're feeling themselves because they just got their big prospect there in Della Torre, a guy that everybody in the MLB is talking about, everybody in sports is talking about because he seems like he's a special player. He's already doing special things as is. And Dela Cruz is already batting in the 4-hole, and he's just starting shortstop. In his first 3 games, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 double, 1 triple, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Incredible. The guy's already hit for the cycle, and he's just been in the league for 3 games. He's done everything that you possibly could do in the MLB in 3 games. So this is a special player. He's going to get a lot of playing time because right now they got a lot of guys on the IR. So, it sucks to see Nick Lodolo 60-day IL done. Will Myers is 10-day. D-Law is 15-day. Sincel is a 10-day. It's just, you're looking at this and you say, damn. And Ashcroft, they just put him on the DL as well, too, after yesterday's game. So he has a 15-day stint. So, there's just a lot of things that this team is still trying to improve on. But tonight only, I feel like they'll be able to win this game because they do have Ben Lively on the mound. Ben Lively's been really good as of late, and he's been ice water. Jordan Montgomery, 2-7, not having the year that a lot of people had expected for Jordan Montgomery. He gave up 4 in his last game, and he gave up pretty much 10 in the last 3. but he struck out 12, but he's also allowed 18 hits. So Jordan Montgomery hasn't been bulletproof like he was with the Yankees. So that's something that we have to monitor a little bit and look at. And I think that we're on to some big things right now. So I think with all of that, let's go ahead and say that we're going to rock with the Reds tonight. I'm going to rock with the Reds tonight as my dog of the day. The Reds been really good to us as the dog of the day as well, too. So let's go ahead and continue on with this pretty good momentum that we've been having with the Reds being our dog of the day. And we're getting plus 150, so why not? All right, so with that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. When I get back, we're going to jump into Talking Tickets. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the PrimeTime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Captain.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right. Let's go ahead and jump into Talking Tickets, and Talking Tickets is your favorite subject, my favorite subject. So let's go ahead and get the answers. And how sway? Up first, the pick six. Pick six is going to be at 45-1 today. We got the under 8 Diamondbacks and Tigers. We also have the plus 120 with the Rays run line today. And then we also have the Yankees with the minus 150. Then we also have the over 9.5 with the Dodgers and the Phillies. And then we wrap it up with the Twins money line plus 105. And then we have the Guardians as well, too, at the plus 1.5. And they're getting minus 175 for that one as well, too. Sorry for not marking that. Let's get to the final four for tonight, the late pick four. 18-1, we get the plus 150. Then also the Rockies tonight are going to be a plus 125 actually on the plus 1.5. Then we also have the over 7.5 with the Mariners and the Angels tonight. I know they got a good pitching matchup with Castillo and Ohtani, but I feel like they're going to be hitting tonight over at the Big A. And then tonight, as I said, I feel like, you got Stroman on the mound who hasn't given up any runs in his last 2 starts. And then Descalfani is always a good starter as well, too. So I feel like it's the perfect storm for a 2-0, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 3-2 game. Let's go ahead and see how it goes. 18-1 on the late pick 4 ticket. And then we got the NBA Finals bets. Really simple tonight. I know I don't have any props up here, but I just didn't see any props that were just really like, oh man, let's throw it in there. I might throw them in there a little bit right before game time, but I really just want to be simple tonight. And let's just go ahead and take these 3 as of now. And that's going to be the plus 3.5 on the Heat for full game, the over 106 for the first half. And then we're going to also take the Heat money line plus 100 first quarter. And that's going to be our NBA Finals game 4 bets. So that's Talking Tickets for you today. I'll be tweeting these out in the next 30 minutes to an hour or so you guys don't miss out on the bets for today. So pretty much you guys are the absolute best, and I'll be back to you on Monday. We'll probably be doing the show pretty early Monday as well, too. I'm aiming for 10 a.m. So because really I get a little busy on Monday, so I'm trying to, get the show going a little bit earlier and everything like that. So, and, just because I probably won't, it's Monday. It's the first day of the week. You know what I mean? So pretty much, You guys make sure to tune in for that. You guys are the absolute best. And as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving. And this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles. And I'm your host, the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. And I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.